At 10:30, we want to welcome you back this Sunday evening with a news story. Local bar owners say they're prepping right now for what they expect to be a busy St. Patrick's Day next week. And that's important when it comes to rebounding. The U.S. Open Pickleball Championships are back in Southwest Florida. Starting tomorrow, there is a new place you can get the COVID-19 vaccine in Cape Coral. The city's location on Cultural Park Boulevard across from City Hall will be administering vaccines 7 days a week. That's going to be from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 p.m. Also in the Cape, police are investigating a second shooting that sent gunfire into a home. This one happened in the 600 block of Southeast 32nd Terrace. They say more than one suspect fired shots, but no one was hurt here. Police still working to identify the suspects involved. For those of you who've maybe been peeking around on our Fox 4 Facebook pages, we've been getting into the Addams Family spirit. It's time to break out the green. The luck of the Irish is back in Southwest Florida as many businesses are getting ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We are continuing to monitor a large brush fire in Collier County tonight. Crews tell us that as many as 1,200 acres have burned since initial reports came in around midday. It's believed it's only at about 15% containment, and that's despite closures on Florida's East Coast. So we saw places like Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach decide to close their beaches because of such high case counts of COVID-19. And Mayor, I remember some things that you said earlier in the week. You had said you're fearful that buses of people are on their way here to Fort Myers Beach. Law enforcement there is preparing for a 7th straight night of protests. Last night, demonstrators gathered outside the Brooklyn Center Police Department, breaching security barriers. Well, one day before City Council is set to discuss the future of policing in Fort Myers, a shooting investigation is unfolding there as well. The Fort Myers Police Department responded to an area off Summerlin Road where it says an isolated shooting took place. Police say one person was taken to Lee Memorial Hospital. They're looking for information to piece together what happened. All right, Eric. Well, this evening, people here in Southwest Florida are celebrating their right to vote. Minneapolis and other cities are increasing security ahead of the verdict. The defense and prosecution are expected to go about 1 to 2 hours for closing arguments. The National Guard has been on the ground on standby. Thank you, Leslie. 11:57 is the time.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. If you look like this woman, authorities say be aware.
She's actually seen at the bar with the victim, speaking, smiling, befriending her. And of course, that is the most disturbing part when you speak with investigators on this case, as this appears to be somebody who you would trust.
Welcome back. Well, a big part of helping you rebound during the pandemic is keeping our eye on employment opportunities for you. That's exactly what we do with our Help Wanted series. So right now, Lee Interfaith for Empowerment is looking for a community organizer. If you have experience in administration, First Pond Jewelry and Loan in Fort Myers needs an office manager, and Happy Smiles in Fort Myers needs a dental assistant. To apply for these jobs and more, head to fox4now.com/job search. There is a mock version made with marshmallow and cornflakes for that distinctive crunch. Something about saying the word crunch, thinking about eating a bug, Eric, not my forte. Some lucky fans got a chance to meet a real-life superhero in Fort Myers today. Lou Ferrigno, a.k.a. the Incredible Hulk, was at Flycore Bungee Studios. He stopped by to celebrate the grand opening of the studio, which is at Gulf Coast Town Center. It's teeth time. Dentists in Fort Myers want to make sure your teeth are in good health, and today the annual Touch a Truck event gave them the chance to do so. Gorgeous beach weather, local food, music, and drinks is certainly the perfect recipe for a relaxing Sunday, and that's what many of you experienced at the 25th annual Taste of the Beach on Fort Myers Beach earlier. And as more people get the shot, we're getting a look at what life looks like without masks again. Across the country, many businesses are lifting their mandates in response to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's updated guidelines. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has more on how Americans are reacting to the changes.
Trent, before we do toss it to you, I just want to remind you that we have been speaking with business owners out here on the island all morning long. They were out here when they were feeling Ida's impacts on Monday. This completely different now that we know it has reached hurricane status. Many of them making those crucial decisions on whether or not they're going to be open out here today. At least one restaurant owner, the owner of La Ola, already telling me he will be closed today. He does not anticipate with all of this that they're going to be seeing a lot of customers.
The anticipation is really building as they get ready to open the doors and start administering those doses. So we know they're going to be administering 800 doses. Now, this is dose 1, and listen to this. We're going to let you hear straight from the man who has been in line since 9:30 yesterday morning. When you hear such tragic and heartbreaking stories like that, of course, we know it's one of many that people have had to deal with throughout this terrible pandemic. I think that's why you refer to that red ticket you have as more of a golden ticket, right? Talk to me about what you were calling that ticket earlier.
It's my Willy Wonka golden ticket. I got it. I don't know. Now I don't know what I do with it.
You want to talk about fast moving? You can see it right here, that wind that Matt is talking about. We can show you with these flames. Heading over to help some neighbors right over here who had to go into another neighbor's home because the flooding was too bad by their house.
Yeah, Chris, so when we see content like this deleted from mainstream platforms, that professor here at Florida Gulf Coast University says you'll typically see one of two things happen.
So it's starting to feel a little bit better, but I'm not shedding those layers anytime soon, Trent. This is too much for a Florida girl. I have to say, I am getting some looks out here in Charlotte County. The barista at the coffee shop we're at kind of asked me if all of these layers were necessary. Yes, the beanie is necessary. And as we have been here in Charlotte County, we've been all over town. I want to let you listen to some people we spoke with at a gas station earlier today, how they are dealing with these colder than usual temps. I have to say, I did flag Randy over here because I totally appreciate the thermal socks with the sandals. Nothing says Florida like that.
Well, you know, Lisa, usually I'm jealous of you guys in the AC, in the studio, but I say I take the cake for the best job this morning because we're out here at Santa's Wonderland at Bass Pro Shops at Gulf Coast Sound Center showing you how this annual experience has been modified for COVID-19. So it starts with the social distancing markers. As you're making your way up this line, you do have to make a reservation for this contactless experience. I have Jessica out here. I promise I'm not talking to myself. Her name is Jessica as well. Before you're able to walk down this line, Jess, you actually have to do a temperature check. So we're going to do that first, make sure I'm good to go. And I know that you have a lot when it comes to how you've made this experience contactless. So as we walk, just tell me what has gone into that this year. The governor's reopened Florida task force is just getting to work. This morning, I'm getting an inside look at the conversations underway in an exclusive interview you'll see only here on Fox 4 Morning News with one of the members of the task force executive committee.
Well, Jane, we just saw the last part of the motorcade make its way around the Calusa Sound Convention Center. So as far as what's going on right here behind the barricade, everybody who has gathered here is really just trying to figure out where to move to next, where they might be able to get a glimpse of President Trump while he is here and making his way inside of Calusa Sound. Well, in the end, we had a more than 81% voter turnout here in Lee County. And all morning long, when we were out here at the Lee County Election Center, we watched and saw trucks rolling in and out. What they were doing was returning voting equipment from the precincts across Lee County.
Well, Lee County deputies are doing their best to reorganize the crowd out here. We have folks who have been in line since 10 o'clock yesterday morning. So I'm going to ask my photographer to pan all the way here to the right. This first tent that you see set up here are the folks that I'm talking about. So they are going to eventually have waited 23 hours by the time that this site eventually opens for vaccination. So they're not the only ones who have had tents out here who spent the night. And these are the folks that you want to hear from, because when everything got extremely tense and started to get out of control as deputies were starting to make room for even more people, these people were able to really witness it all.
And Mayor, I'll just add to that, because as far as fines are concerned this morning, you should know that as a beachgoer, if you are caught by law enforcement not wearing the mask, you could face a $50 fine. That fine is even steeper for the businesses not complying and is up to $500. So certainly something you want to keep in mind the 4th of July holiday. Mayor, thank you again so much for joining us. You have a great 4th of July.
You're welcome, Jess. Thank you very much. You look great in your blue. If you put a little red and white on there, you'll be a Yankee Doodle dandy.
Yeah, it's my patriotic look this morning.
Coming up next, we'll have one last look at your forecast for the week. Stick around. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10 this Sunday.